2 months ago, I set out to build my very first app. I had no idea what I was doing, I hit a ton of roadblocks, and honestly, it almost got out of hand. But in the end, I built something I actually use every day. Here's what I learned. A couple years ago, I got really into this game called Math Trainer. It's basically a speed arithmetic game, super simple but surprisingly addictive. I loved it. Back then, it was completely free, but now they charge a yearly subscription, which is a no-no for me. I always thought the core idea was pretty simple, and since I'm comfortable with Python, I figured, how hard could it be to make my own version? So, one afternoon, I sat down and began coding it. In just a few hours, I had a terminal-based game that worked. I'd run the program and it would start throwing arithmetic problems at me. Super simple. But here's the thing, that wasn't really what I wanted. I wanted a proper mobile app, and that's when things started to spiral a little bit out of control. I realized pretty quickly this was more than just a weekend project. If I actually wanted to finish it, I had to get a little more organized. And I'll share a simple tip I use later in the video, because it's honestly the reason I'm able to bring projects like this to life. You see, writing something for the terminal is pretty straightforward. There's no fancy design, no user interactions, just text in and text out. I'd built a couple of GUIs before using the other tools, but nothing as polished or sophisticated as Flat. So, like anyone learning something new, I started with tutorials, and thankfully Flat's documentation is solid, with plenty of examples to follow. But here's something I've learned doing this kind of projects. The best way to actually pick up a new tool is to immediately try building something of your own. Think about what you can do with the tools you've learned, even if it's small, even if it's messy. And the second thing I've learned, if there's something you really want to make, like an arithmetic app in my case, don't wait around for the perfect time or when you'll have the knowledge. Just dive in and try it. Because here's the truth, you redo the same thing over and over again, you'll scrap entire versions, you'll get frustrated, but then when you finally fix that tiny bug or figure out how to make something work, the joy you'll feel makes it absolutely worth it. Plus, you'll have a lot of ideas under your belt for your next iterations. I didn't work on this project every single day, I had plenty of other more important things going on, but it was always on the back of my mind. I'd catch myself thinking about how to implement a certain feature or how to fix something that wasn't working, and honestly, I lost count of the hours I spent dealing with bugs. There were days when the only progress I made was figuring out how to make a single button behave the way I wanted, or just researching how to package the app for Android or iOS, and realizing it's never as straightforward as you think. When I finally got to the point where I had a working app, it felt amazing. That shift from I have no idea how to make an app to I actually made one was huge. It gave me a real boost of confidence in my skills, but more importantly, it gave me the energy to start tackling harder problems and the courage to face completely new challenges I'd never touched before. I shared this project with family and friends, and honestly, it still feels a little surreal watching people actually use something I built. Sometimes I get embarrassed when it glitches or doesn't work perfectly, but most of the time, it just does what it's supposed to do, and that feels amazing. Oh, and yes, you can actually try the game yourself, the link's in the description. Give it a try and let me know in the comments what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback. I didn't really build this for anyone else. I built it for myself, and the ultimate test is simple. Do I actually use it? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Not only do I use it, but because I know every little detail of how it works, I can't help but think about new ways to improve it, to make the experience even better. And honestly, that process, that feeling of using something you made with your own hands and then dreaming up the next version, that's the part that brings me the most joy. I've always liked having side projects, whether it's something like this app or even just making videos. For me, they're the perfect way to learn new things, develop skills, and create something useful for myself or for others. Most of the time, I stick to small projects I can finish in a couple hours, but every now and then, a big, ambitious project comes along. And before I dive in, I try to check it against something called the SMART acronym, because I've had way too many projects that gave me nothing but frustration and almost no reward. Here's what SMART means. Specific, your project should be clearly defined. Measurable, you need some kind of metric to know when you're actually done. Attainable, it has to be realistic with the resources you've got, but at the same time, it should still pushes you out of your comfort zone. Relevant, the project should matter to you. It should connect to your bigger goals. Time bound. And finally, it needs a realistic deadline. And most of the time, this one is the hardest to set up properly. And yeah, these things sound obvious, but here's the thing. If my goal had just been make an arithmetic app, I probably would have kept adding more and more stuff forever, even features that didn't really matter. Using SMART helped me know when to stop and when the project was actually complete. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, first of all, thank you. If you try the app, let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll be reading, and if the link isn't working, I'll make sure to fix it. But more than anything, I hope this video inspires you to start a little project of your own. It doesn't have to be coding, it could be music, writing, or even just painting your room. The truth is, we live in a world that pushes us to consume more than we create, but you don't have to play alone. Break this cycle, do something for yourself, start small, keep it fun, and don't stress about being perfect. And if you need a little guide, remember the SMART acronym. Good luck with whatever you choose to build, and I'll see you next time.